The last time the White Sox won a game in Kansas City was September of 2023. Where's the confetti? Where are those party poppers? Where's my balloon drop? Okay, we need to be throwing a party like they just did when the Bulls fired Antonacci SHOVES. I think I butchered that name. He's gone. CHGO White Sox postgame. Welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. Hi, Jay. The Sox won. The White Sox won 2-0 against the Kansas City Royals. Welcome in to Studio West of our West Loop offices here in downtown Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, alongside me, my pal, Sarah. Hey, there we go. Let's go, party people. Give me the DJ air horn. Come on. That'd be nice. Okay, hold on. What else we got to celebrate? Can you scroll up? I think we got some Hawk ones, don't we? I think some at the top. I think there's a... no, not this dude stinks. Oh, okay, maybe this is all just... I guess, yeah, that's Big Dave saying Bulls win. Okay. I thought we had some old ones. Oh, well. I had some Hawk Harrelson ones. We'll take a glockenspiel. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. And again, the White Sox finally win in Kansas City. They improved to 5-8 on the year. Kansas City falls to 5-8. Sox win 2-0. We'll take you through the entire game in just a second. We'll also talk about Duncan Davitt, the sports writer, and now major league pitcher. We'll talk about Brooks Baldwin. I really feel like I haven't talked about a season-ending injury much. We'll talk about Mike Vasil and Kyle Teal, how these injuries have sort of compiled. And then I made a note in an addendum because there was an outfield crash in Charlotte. Thankfully, I think the White Sox have escaped everyone okay, but Sammy Antonacci and William Bergolla, at first, I thought were both dead, the way Jeff Cohen of Future Sox officially reported it. They brought out a cart for William Bergolla. He has a bruised shin, so sigh of relief there. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Noah Schultz in our Future is Bright segment. Very excited about his soon-to-be debut. I don't know exactly when that will be, but at some point it will happen, and I'm very, very excited for it. Hit that thumbs up button if you have any thoughts. Sarah will like them. John in the chat saying, Kay looked nice today. Throw about 18 more, then trade. Maybe. We'll see. Hey, he did look really nice today. A decent outing last time out. Not getting to 6 innings, but it's still... you're going to take no one runs. So I'm not going to complain. White Sox shut out the Kansas City Royals. They get their first win over Kansas City since September 6, 2023. I'll tell you more about that game and why it should make you puke that this is an actual stat. Going into this game, Sox have lost 14 straight in Kansas City. The Sox were playing on CHSN++, and for about the first to 5 innings, they kept being like, oh, look, it's all 3 games. The Bulls are on CHSN. The Hawks are on CHSN+. And you're watching the Chicago White Sox. And for some reason, Steve Sohn, in one point, he said, if you're looking for the Bulls, they're on CHSN. It's like, Steve, I'm watching the White Sox game. To know that I have to turn into CHSN, I'd have to find channel 1258 on Xfinity and find CHSN++. There are some people who pay for Fubo. I saw this, I think this was Liam Menas on Twitter, saying that he pays for Fubo, tried to sign in with the CHSN app, and he couldn't even get it authenticated, even though he pays for a TV provider. Like, yeah, if I'm going out of my way to watch this broadcast on CHSN++, I don't think I want to watch the Bulls game, bud. Thanks, Steve, for the offer, but I'll pass. Anyways, top 1, Seth Lugo is on the bump for the Royals. Mydroth grounds out to the second baseman. Then Murakami draws a 6-pitch walk. He'll do that another time later in the game. Murakami is easily their most professional hitter. Mydroth has been decent. Vargas has been decent, but Murakami has just been so consistently disciplined at the plate. Vargas then challenges an 0-1 strike, which I found very confusing. Hitters really shouldn't be challenging pitches. And then later we'll see Seranthony Dominguez challenging a pitch, both of them losing. I think most of the edict from the White Sox is that the challenger will be the catcher most of the time. And most of the time, the other Sox have had a decent success rate when the catcher challenges. Vargas, for some reason, just wastes a challenge on the third at-bat on his first pitch. Really hated that. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm just complaining. He hits a grounder to second base, but India has a bad throw over to first base. Vargas headed to second, but then collides with Gibson, the umpire. He's safe back at first, and then Colson flies out at right field. That ends the top of the first. In the bottom of the first, K is in. Garcia with a lead-off single, but that will be only one of K's 3 allowed hits. Then Witt pops up to the first baseman, and this is a classic White Sox play. I thought, oh no, here we go again. Chase Mydroth last year, I think in the 9th inning, had a fly ball hit off the front of his cap. Mune drops a ball that is just straight at him. Difficult play. It doesn't end up biting the White Sox, but, not what you want to see from your first baseman. Probably his ugliest play defensively so far. Pretty decent. Pasquantino then walked. Caro overturns, though, a 3-2 ball. Witt does steal his MOB leading 8th stolen base, but then I believe that's an out on Pasquantino. They end up getting the out on Pasquantino because Caro gets the overturn challenge. Perez then is hit with a back foot slider and a 2-2 count, and then Thomas flies out. So even though Witt was at second base, the White Sox are able to get out of the first inning. K gets through it in 23 pitches. In the top of the second, Sox go 1-2-3, and there's an odd play with Edgar Caro. Dustin Harris did get a single, but then Caro grounds into a double play, and it's on my Twitter. Sox Optimist clipped it. Caro not really running, and then Caro seemingly kind of limping, missing the bag. It was a very odd play. Stayed in the game. Really unsure of why you weren't really seeing him hustle. Maybe he trips. Maybe there wasn't something seen on the 90 feet to first base. But a very bizarre play from Caro. We'll love to see what I think James Fegan in the beat in Kansas City ask Venable about that. Just a bizarre play there from Caro, a guy that, isn't really hitting at the plate, isn't the best defender behind the plate, should be hustling if you want to stay on the team. I've thought, even though the service time has started, might not be the worst thing to send Edgar Caro back to Charlotte when Kyle Teal is finally healthy if you sign Reese McGuire to $1.2 million. Bottom second, Caglianone's Cade. India walks in a full count. Collins then flies out to center field, but Gibson calls a balk on, I think it's Trey Gibson. I didn't write his first name now, the umpire. It doesn't matter. He's an ump. Gibson calls a balk. So India goes to second. Collins then will later pop up to chase, but almost a hairy situation there where you seemingly think that you get the second out and the at-bat is extended there for K. And then Isbell gets K'd, but 44 pitches through 2 innings for K. He will tighten down the hatches and get close to 6 innings. In the top of the third, Acuna grounds out. Then there's a weird Peters at-bat where he just fails to bunt. He makes contact with it, but he thinks it goes foul and is about to bounce back up at him, so he flinches and doesn't run. If he runs out of the box, maybe it's a little bit more competitive, but more bunting from the White Sox than Mydroth is Cade. Bottom of the third, it is revealed that Austin Hayes is a grade 1 strain per Connor McKnight, so you should think that once he is cleared to play, he should be able to get after it. There isn't really a concern that, once that grade 1 is healed up, that you should re-injure that. So Sox possibly dodged a bullet. They mentioned when Hayes came up limping, it was good that he probably didn't put any major pressure on that once he felt that sprain give. So good news there on the injury end. In the third, K gets Garcia to line out. Witt hits a double. It was near a home run, just maybe a couple of inches from actually going over the fences. They moved him in, but didn't lower him, so it didn't help out Witt there. Then Pasquantino's K, and Perez pops out to first base. 58 pitches, 4K through 3. Then in the top of the 4, Murakami just gets a free pass from Seth Lugo, a 4-pitch walk. Then Vargas with a bunt attempt. Your third hitter on the first play. I'm not sure if this is because, he thinks he's going to catch Lugo off guard. It felt like he was bunting it towards the first base line, so Lugo as a righty would be coming towards the first base bag. I don't know if he thought Pasquantino was deep. Miguel Vargas is really feeling his speed. I feel bizarre when you have Munetaka Murakami, who's about to do what I'm about to tell you, doesn't have the slowest feet. I mean, this isn't Andrew Vaughn sandbagging it around first base. Bizarre to have your third hitter lay down a bunt, but that's what the White Sox do. Colson would then later hit an RBI double, 106.6 miles per hour. Thomas misplays it in right field, allowing Mooney to haul it from first base all the way around. Sox score 1-0. Then Benny's Cade. Harris grounds out. That Benny one was hilarious. Shriffin's like, oh, he's really locking in Steve. And Steve's like, yes, it seems like the hitters are really picking it up after the shade has gone away in the first. Top four, Benny just, after they say that next pitch, is just strikeout. Bottom four, Sox lead 1-0. Thomas lines out to Vargas. Caglianone owns Cade. India flies out to right field. Very efficient from K. Top five, Caro opposite field first, opposite field single. Nice to see that from Caro. Acuna then grounds into a double play. So Acuna giveth, Acuna taketh. I don't know what he gave. And then Peter, Cade. Bottom five, K really getting iffy here. Not iffy, sorry. Collins flies out to second base. Isbel Cade. Garcia walked. And then Vargas dives down the line. A brilliant play by Vargas and throws out Witt, not only to make the stab going towards the foul line in third base, but with that distance to make the throw. Mooney didn't even have to really stretch too badly. And to beat Witt with that speed, really fantastic play there by Vargas. K's at 82 pitches after 5. Top 6, Maidroth hits a single into left field, and then Murakami smokes one up the middle, but it takes one bounce in front of Witt. Witt grabs it, turns two by himself, 101.6 miles per hour exit velocity. Murakami had a really great day at the plate. First 3 at-bats were brilliant from Murakami. I guess really the second at-bat, he saw 4 pitches that were balls, so he really didn't have to do much there. Then Vargas grounds out to end the threat. I guess Vargas giveth and taketh. He gives it in the bottom of the 5th with that great play at third base, and then just... it really wasn't anything at the plate today. Bottom 6, 1-0 for the Sox. Pasquantino grounds out. Perez grounds out. Thomas then singles into, left field. And then Caglianone's walked the lefty. That's going to be the end of K's day. Caglianone, I think, ends up getting hit by the pitch. And he stared down K. And it's just fairly moronic of the guy that isn't even Caglianone. Like he even said when asked for playing team Italy, like, is it is Italian as it looks? And he's like, no, it's very American Jack Caglianone or Jack Caglione. I don't even know what he says. But he seems a little dense in the head. Stares down K for hitting him completely on accident. There's a runner on first base. K's at his 100th pitch. He's not trying to hit you, especially, left on left. K's day is over. 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs because Grant Taylor will get India to fly out in the next at-bat. Taylor comes in for K in relief. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts for K. 100 pitches, 17-24 on first pitch strikes, 21 called strikes, 13 whiffs for Anthony K. 31% whiff rate. Velo is up on most of his pitches. I think it was only down on the sinker, but he didn't throw that many sinkers tonight, so maybe not that big of a sample size. Really great stuff from Anthony K. I can complain. You want a guy to go a little bit longer. You don't really want the bullpen to be exposed that much, but really it's just Taylor getting that one out against India, and I think Taylor only throws 22 pitches. So really decent there with K's day. We are closing in on an ad break. Let's take a break because my throat is dry. I got to take a sip of water. And I agree, Matthew. Cortese. See, we got Cortese in the chat. Caglianone, Cortese. I think he's got basil as his profile picture. It doesn't get more Italian than that. K was dominant. K looked really decent. So it was a good day to see. Sox win 2-0. We have 62 people watching, 19 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. We do have some merch. Sarah's pushing the hoodie in the chat over at store.allcitynetwork.com. We also have some opening day merch as well. If you do want to get the new designs, we got some fantastic hats. I've loved every single hat that we've designed. I have the first ever CHGO hat too. Very proud of that. Let's go.
The one you have never even went sale. That was like the dad hat before the official dad hat came out. Yeah, it was the mock-up one.
Jake, I was like, Jake, it's great advertisement,
It is.
I really sold them to get the first ever hat. But we got hoodies and shirts, so great stuff. We're going to take a break. Those are hops from Matthew Cortese. I'm lying to myself and saying it's basil. We're taking a break here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. We'll be back to pick it up for Grant Taylor's fantastic outing. Jordan Leasure doing a great job. And Seranthony Dominguez doing a little shaky. But at the end of the day, Sox win. We want to let you know about our friends over at Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app, use code CHGO365 when you sign up, and you get $150 in bonus bets when your first bet of $5 wins or loses. Deposit $10, make a wager of $5, and whether that wager of $5 wins or loses, you get $150 in bonus bets to bet on player props, spreads, futures, whatever your heart desires. If you want to put on a little joke bet about the White Sox winning the AL Central, hey, it's long odds, but at the end of the day, come October, if the White Sox some way, somehow win the AL Central, you are cashing in basically for free, whatever your heart desires. Maybe you're a smarter gambler than I are. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Bet $5, get $150 with our code CHGO365. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up at Bet365. Where winning is everything. Download the app and use code CHGO365 at sign up today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Illinois. And we are so happy that our friends over at ComEd are back on the White Sox podcast. ComEd, an excellent company. I have ComEd in my home. I bet Sarah has ComEd at her apartment. Who doesn't have ComEd in Chicago? It's our electric people. And we are all looking for ways to stand out at work. Sarah cuts as many shorts as humanly possible. I try to talk for a full hour about the White Sox. Well, what if we told you there's an easy way to save your company hundreds of thousands of dollars? Just sign up for a free facility assessment from ComEd. Their engineer will give free insights and actions that can help you save your business on energy costs. Basically, they're creating a plan to help you stand out and your business save for free. So visit ComEd.com/facility assessment to learn more. That's ComEd.com/facility assessment. Actual savings will be based on varied customer usage and rate. Sarah, how do you try to stand out at work? I guess cutting shorts.
Yes, with ComEd.
Amazing, and with ComEd. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. We are going to get to the Future is Bright segment in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about Noah Schultz. Fantastic start down in Charlotte just in a couple days, but we got to wrap up about the White Sox 2-0 win in KC. K Stone in the chat saying any win in KC is amazing. He is. White Sox do get the win. Again, K goes 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks. I wrote down 3. I think CHSN. Oh, right, because the Caglianone walk got overturned to a hit by pitch. My bad. So K's ERA so far through, I believe, 4 starts. Could be wrong on that. 3 starts. 3 starts, 4 starts. Let's see where he's at. 3 starts. 3 starts is 245. So nice job for Anthony K. Sub 250. So just doing really what he was supposed to do as a lefty coming over from the NPB, not the KBO. That is Fetty. Okay. So Grant Taylor comes in, and Grant Taylor is just the coolest person alive. I think I've said that with Munetaka Murakami, and I think I've said that with Grant Taylor. I think I don't want to overuse it. I've also, the original joke is, Alfred from The Dark Knight saying it to, Batman jokingly, but it's saying, he's the coolest person ever. I'm very explaining this poorly. Grant Taylor's sick. 1 1/3, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1 K. But the big thing, he's been showing this pretty much this entire season. He's just a strike machine. 22 pitches and 17 strikes. I really think that this guy is just next level. I mean, even Steve Stone said that, he is just clearly one of the best arms in baseball. 2 whiffs on 11 swings, which is, a little iffy, but 6 called strikes for Grant Taylor. And even the contact that was made was really iffy. He gets Collins to fly out to right field. Oh, I'm skipping the top of the 7th. I am so sorry. Colson had a hard line out to center field. 100.2 mile per hour exit velocity. Benny walks in a 3-2 count. Then Lugo gets pulled out after a Harris walk. Sox get the bases loaded after an E3 from Pasquantino. Pasquantino tried to throw to second base to start the 2, right? It was a high throw over to Witt. Witt had to jump up. Harris's foot slides in at second base before Witt's foot lands on the base. So Sox have bases loaded after Pasquantino's error. Acuna hits an RBI sac fly. Sox lead 2-0. Then Peters flies out. Bottom 7, Taylor's still in after getting India out. He gets Collins to fly out to right field. He gets Isbel Cade on one of the nastiest curves I've seen. He's going to throw another one to Witt that somehow gets in play for a hit. But this dude is just on a next level. I mean, even last year he was absurd. I know that the ERA was high. You could look at the fielding independent pitching. He should have had an ERA around 1.42. I think right now his ERA is 1.42. It's 1.42. He's been electric, and he seems even more electric this year. Garcia then hits a single. It's deflected off Colson. So maybe if Colson's a little bit more in front of it, I think he tried to backhand it and it bounced off of his glove into left field. Maybe if he's a little bit more in front of it, hits off his chest, maybe there's a play at first. But anyways, a hit allowed by Grant Taylor. And then Witt hits a dribbler off a nasty curveball. And the White Sox are just hoping it goes foul and are watching it as it goes all the way to the bag and hits the bag. And it kind of even curls a little bit more fair. So Sox make the wrong choice there, allowing that play to draw out. But Pasquantino's up. Probably the hardest hit ball of the day against Grant Taylor. Vinny Pasquantino smokes one to Meidroth. Meidroth makes the dive towards first base and really just smothers the ball. And he's able to pop up and throw Pasquantino out at first. Sox are able to avoid Garcia and Witt at first and second. Sox still lead 2-0. Top of the 8th, Morgan's in. Meidroth grounds out. Mooney pops up to first base, what Steve Stone called the highest fly ball he's ever seen. Vargas then walks, and then Colson popped up to center field. Bottom 8, Leasure comes in. He Ks Perez on a 3-2 middle fastball. Like I felt like the moment was coming, and I let out like a massive sigh of relief because the 2 strikes he did get on Perez were on sliders, and I'm just like, just keep throwing the slider. He bears down, throws the fastball middle. He does get the whiff on Perez. But man, really iffy there because you just seen so many times Sale Perez hitting a home run in a moment like that. Steve Stone does bring up Roch Cholowsky in the bottom of the 8th. Cholowsky was on MLB Network. UCLA is playing Rutgers. Rutgers is in Piscataway, and I believe that's where New Jersey, and I believe that's where MLB Network is or in that area. Cholowsky says that he will take as many grounders as possible and that he prefers defense over offense. He also prepares for baseball like he would for football. He's a former high school quarterback, so he takes it as seriously as they would for football. Mark DeRosa brought up 2-a-days, so Cholowsky kind of being a little bit of a hard-o about how hard he works. Not a bad thing to say. He's really winning the media war, but he really is a grinder. I think Jim in the chat said that grinder ball is back, especially if Roch Cholowsky is a White Sox. And the thing that stood out to me, he said at the plate, he watches YouTube videos of Trout, Bonds, and Miggy. Not a bad 3 to look up to. Mike Trout, Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds, should be a Hall of Famer, maybe, depending how you feel on steroids. Miguel Cabrera, last Triple Crown winner. Decent company. I don't think of Cholowsky, though, as any of those type of hitters. Maybe more of a Tulowitzki, you'd hope, but Trout, Bonds, and Miggy. So high hopes, kid. I mean, you never know. Maybe Roch Cholowsky turns into Barry Bonds. I won't be mad. Anyways, back to reality. Leasure K's Jensen. He then walks Cags on 4 pitches, and then he gets India to ground out. So even though Leasure allows a base runner, he's able to allow no damage. So White Sox still lead 2-0. Benny then flies out. Harris gets K'd. Caro hits another single. I think someone brought up Jay Targaryen in the chat brought up that there's 2 Caro hits. At least Caro had 2 hits tonight. Even after the GIDP did, have those 2 hits. Fine-ish day behind the plate. Didn't really have a chance at the Bobby Witt stolen base, but that was the only stolen base tonight for the Royals. And then Acuna flies out. Bottom of the 9th, Dominguez comes in on 5-day rest, and it really does show. He walks Collins on 4 pitches, and then the first pitch to Isbell is out of the zone, and then he throws one, a fastball middle in, and Isbell hits a pretty sharp fly ball to center field. It's an iffy read on Acuna. Acuna comes in, and then he realizes it's over his head, and he starts to haul ass, and he makes not a diving stab, that's a little bit dramatic, but a lunging stab out to really extend his arm to make the play. Could have been a little bit messy, especially with Collins on first base. Then Dominguez challenges the third ball to Garcia and then K's him on the next pitch. So again, almost walking Garcia, wasting the last challenge in a way. He shouldn't be challenging pitches. If Caro's not challenging it, you shouldn't be challenging it. Dominguez kind of overriding that thought process that I think is typical for MLB teams so far. Loses the challenge. Sox are done with challenges. It at the end of the day won't matter. But Garcia gets K'd, and then he K's Witt on 3 pitches, which is fairly funny to me. Isaac Collins was scaring you. Couldn't throw a strike to Jason Kyle Isbell. Even Garcia almost gets walked, but Bobby Witt, nothing. Three pitches, you're done. I do think Dominguez will be watching a heart attack. I'm a little bit concerned about that. But Sox win. They win their 5th game. They're 5-8 in their first 13. They have 3 more against Kansas City. Kansas City currently sits at 5-8, and the AL Central currently looks at 8-5. Cleveland at the top of the division. Second place Minnesota at 7-6. Kansas City and White Sox tied for 3rd at 5-8, and then the Detroit Tigers at 4-9. Fairly bizarro AL Central besides the White Sox being in 4th place. I thought Minnesota would be last place this year. They're at 2nd. I thought Cleveland would be maybe 2nd or 3rd. I thought Kansas City and Detroit had shots at winning the division. It's only 13 games. Can't hit the panic mode just yet. But if Detroit and Kansas City aren't hitting the panic mode, should White Sox fans? You're only 5-8. You've played some pretty horrendous baseball, but we've seen more horrendous April baseball. If they're able to get to 10 wins, they're able to get to 12 wins in April. They might win 75 games. I don't know. We'll see how it happens. How this all rolls out. Where are we at time wise? All right, we could do this Future is Bright segment. Hit that thumbs up button. OJ's Glove saying, how about White Sox legend Dustin Harris? Yes. Can't wait to buy the jersey. Can't wait to buy the game-used Dustin Harris jersey at the garage sale that I have never gone to. But it is a fun idea. All right, let's talk about Noah Schultz in the Future is Bright segment presented by our friends over at Shady Rays. Use code CHGO SR. No, is that right? Is it CHGO SR? Yeah, okay. CHGO SR for 40% off 2 polarized sunglasses. Let's put on our rose-colored glasses and explain to the people why the future is bright for our Chicago White Sox. Bright to you by Shady Rays. Head to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO SR. Noah Schultz is an extremely unique prospect. Possibly 6'10", possibly 6'11". Maybe they don't want to give up his true identity and his true height of being a 7-foot monster on the mound, but he is physically imposing. He was fantastic against the Memphis Redbirds last night for the Charlotte Knights. Sarah, can you flash the graphic for Noah? Noah was electric. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 hits, 9 Ks, no walks, 71.2% strike rate, 14 whiffs for Noah Schultz. And the main thing that stuck out for Noah Schultz in that game was 4-seam velocity. An absolute monster at this height. And he doesn't get that much of his extension, only 6.2 feet of extension, but he's just so lanky. He's got so much coming at you. He does really extend down the mound. So even though it's, 6'2" extension, he's still 6'10", and the arm still gets, really released late. But the knee is healthy, and this is from Matt Notcease. Interesting stat he found. 6 of his 145 fastballs last year were 97 miles per hour and topped out at 97.6 in 2025. 18 of his 122 fastballs have been above 97 miles per hour and has topped 99.2 miles per hour in 2026. This kid is 22. Do not forget, he did not go to college. He is 6'10", and I think he is like maybe 2 days younger than Noah Schultz. They both have August birthdays, August 5th for Noah, and then Hagen's August 19th. So even though he is drafted before Hagen Smith, they're practically the same age. Very, very exciting stuff for the White Sox. And Sarah, if you want to flash it just real quick, the one thing that has stuck out is his arm angle is a little bit steeper. It was probably around like 35 degrees, or I thought it was around like 25 degrees from previous reports from @TJ Stats. This is from @TJ Stats. Go to tjstats.ca. Thomas does a great job. But he is getting more rise on his fastball, and that was one thing that he wasn't really typically doing. The IVB column, if you want to see that, under the pink 4-seam fastball, it was at 12.1, and it was only at like 11 or something last start. So he is getting more rise on his 4-seam fastball, which if he's getting so much horizontal break on that sinker at 17.1 inches, that really gives him 2 separate pitches. If he's throwing faster and he's getting more separation on these pitches, he's just going to be even more difficult to hit. And you could just see how those pitches really play off of each other. He's got that 4-seam fastball and then that nasty cutter that, isn't even close to where that 4-seam typically profiles. And that sinker, again, like if you're sitting on the 4-seam fastball and he throws the sinker, well, then you make that adjustment. He's going to throw the cutter, and then that's going to completely just, either jam you, make you whiff, or he just drops that nasty, disgusting sweeper. He's a menace. He's an absolute menace. I mean, 41.2% whiff rate, 39% chase rate. He's fantastic, and the more and more velocity he uses, the more impossible he will be to square up and hit. I'm not sure when he will be called up. I really can't make that call. I mean, Connor McKnight on the broadcast said soon. I don't want to get my hopes up, but how soon is soon, Connor? Let's take a break on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. We will talk more about Andrew Benintendi. K-Stone of the chat's talking about Andrew Benintendi. We'll talk about some Brooke Baldwin, Mike Vassell, Kyle Teal injuries. We'll talk about Duncan Davitt, and we'll talk about some Andrew Benintendi comments from Wednesday's game here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. We want to let you know about our friends over at Game Time, the best way to buy MLB tickets. Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. There's been 6 White Sox games played at home this year. I have gone to 2 of them, all thanks to our friends over at Game Time. And so far, I haven't had them sent over to my ballpark app or anything. It's just the Game Time scanner at the gate, and just all within the app. I buy it, go up into the gate, they scan my phone, boom, all in the Game Time app. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means that you could trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Game Time, there is no other app like it, and if you find tickets in the same section and row for less on a different site, the lowest price guarantee from Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR up in Fox Lake. There is no better place to buy a car than our friends over at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Declaration of Deals sales event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models. And right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on new vehicles. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With a friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. Plus, since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for the next vehicle you need. With Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay, with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. It's that simple with Ray's Price Promise. So don't miss out on the Declaration of Deals sales event for huge savings on new models. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. Sign up using code CHGO365. We're going to get to your comments in the chat now, and then we'll jump into Duncan Davitt, the sports writer, and now MLB baseball player. We'll talk about Brooks Baldwin's injury, Mike Vassell's injury, Kyle Teal's injury, and Benny's comments from Wednesday about being pinch hit for Derek Hill in a fairly big moment. We'll also talk about the collision in Charlotte between Sam Antonacci and William Bergolla. All right, so Doveman in the chat saying, nice to see K reaching back, throwing 98. Didn't know he had it in him. Need a nice pitching prospect back. I'm not too worried about trading Anthony K. You know, at this point right now, especially in April, as long as Anthony K is winning games for the White Sox, like that's all I care about. And he does have a year next year, so I don't think everything has to be April 9th, us fiending over getting prospects for, Anthony K. Let's just enjoy baseball. In my older years, I can at least just take a step back. Maybe not today. That's an off-season topic, I think, or like an off-day topic. I don't need to discuss Anthony K trades yet. He just got here, guys. 65 people watching. Someone just hit the thumbs up button. 32 likes. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Corey P. Norris in the chat saying, I thought we were getting the Japanese Joey Gallo, but maybe Murakami is the Japanese Kevin Youkilis. He is a walk machine. I don't know if he is the Japanese god of walks. I think he is the Japanese god of home runs. But I think the one thing with Yuke was he just never struck out this much. Hold on. I mean, I saw 50 and 60s. I don't think that's that big of a K percent, though. His worst K percentage was like 20%, and Murakami's currently rocking like a 30-something, or 35%. So, I mean, Murakami's walking as much as Kevin Youkilis. So you can take that. And also, Kevin Youkilis's homer top career high was 29. So I think Murakami is easily going to hit that. So I think even Kevin Youkilis isn't even nice enough. I think he kind of is Adam Dunn, like young Adam Dunn, before the White Sox big donkey signed him. I think he's a little bit more youthful. When Adam Dunn was playing left field, like he does seem like an agile first baseman. K-Stone in the chat talking about Andrew Benintendi, that they should just cut Andrew Benintendi, saying he's too injury prone, can't hit, and is a liability in left field. Nobody is picking him up. Shout out to our frequent viewer, blank name, who mentioned that I was throwing out hate to Andrew Benintendi for being too slow in left field. And you know what? I do hate on Andrew a lot. That is fair. And I didn't know this at the time, but I feel like my hate's valid. His sprint speed has dropped like 2 feet per second. He was at like 26, which was like 30th percentile in Major League Baseball. He's now down to 24, which is around like 16th in baseball. A fast sprint speed is like 30 feet. So he's like 6 feet per second behind. He's slow. He's old. He's bad.
He is slow.
And bad.
And bad.
And sucks.
I actually feel like you hold back a lot.
They didn't invite him to Sox Fest. He makes the most money on the damn team. He has been to, I think, 9 effing conventions. Has been going to conventions since he was drafted in the first round for Boston. Like he's definitely been to Red Sox Fest for a long time. He's a professional. They didn't invite him. He wasn't there. Like, they don't care about Andrew Benintendi. Like, the only reason he's on the team is because he makes $17.1 million. I don't know if it's because Jerry's too cheap. K-Stone saying next year's $15 million is a lot easier for them to eat. That's why they said 2027 and 2028 is them being competitive. I mean, again, we've played this on the show. Chris Getz has said that they're not even rebuilding anymore. They're building. So if you're building, buy that bum out and let's start building. Like, I do not understand why he is still on the team. Let's flash back to Wednesday, because we did talk about this Kansas City game. Go to the 6th inning. They do bring in a lefty against Andrew Benintendi, and there's runners on first and second. And they take him out for Derek Hill. And Andrew, Will Venable discussed it by saying, we still think that was an upgrade, Hill over Benintendi against Wolfram, the lefty. The decision was that Derek gave us the best chance against Wolfram. This is from Gordon Eads over at the Sun-Time. He writes, ouch. Benintendi, who has just made one start against the lefty this year, Tyler Rogers on Tuesday, said no one has sat him down and told him that he explicitly will be platooned. He said, not directly, but I just kind of watching how it's gone so far, I think that's the route. Like, I mean, he's just being left at the bus stop. Like, it's cold and rainy, and Andrew Benintendi's just like, my mom's not picking up. My dad's not picking up. Guess I got to walk home. Like, can we just give up the charade? I don't know if we're waiting 6 days until April 15th. So Sam Antonacci could be a White Sox for one more year. I mean, Sam Antonacci's crashing into William Bergolla in left field. Should we be calling up Antonacci? Does he need a little bit more seasoning? I mean, I saw a ball off Charlotte's wall where Antonacci was aggressively playing it off the wall. I haven't seen Andrew Benintendi do that in 4 effing years in left field. So I am for you guys eating him out. No, eating the contract and buying him out. Sometimes you shouldn't talk for 3 hours in a week by yourself. We're going to go over that. I just think ouch from Gordon Eads is right. Benny just being left in the dust when I think he is a more professional hitter than Derek Hill. No offense to Derek Hill. Benny should have been subbed out defensively in left field after that at bat. But, Wolfram, like, this is not a guy that's a high season lefty. This is not a guy with multiple seasons of +1 WAR. Like, Andrew Benintendi could have given you a more professional bat than Derek Hill, who tried to lay down a bunt. So, woohoo. Let's go to favorites. J-Dove in the chat saying, I think you're underestimating Dustin Harris. Feel free to lay out the Dustin Harris propaganda. That's fine. It's not a former top 100 prospect. Was traded in 2019 for Mike Minor. The Texas Rangers acquired him with Marcus Smith and from the A's for Mike Minor. And then he's bounced around, and Texas didn't really want him. I mean, made the major league team, played, I think, 21 games for them and was let go, and the White Sox were able to get him. Like, I don't really know that this is a guy that, when he's signing a minor league contract at 26, that this is going to be a really great player. You could look at the 2025 Round Rock season. It is an .804 slugging percentage, but when you look at the PCL, that's a very friendly offensive environment. The season before that, 749, like not that massive of an increase. It's about a 50% increase, but still 435 slugging percentage. Like, he's not really a bopper. Maybe we'll give you some decent at-bats, but it seems Joshua Palacios. It seems like Tristan Peters. It does not seem like a step above anyone else. I mean, he didn't make the opening day lineup. I laid out 4 options in Charlotte that could possibly replace Austin Hayes. Dustin Harris wasn't one of them. I mean, I listed Dusty Baker's kid before I even listed Dustin Harris. And I didn't even mean to. I could just confuse Drew Baker and Darren Baker, who are both on the Knights. But yeah, I think I'm underestimating Harris, but I think mainly they brought him up because they can burn him. When Hayes comes back, they could probably get him through waivers and get him off the 40-man before calling up Antonacci before he's ready. So I probably am underestimating Dustin Harris, but I mean, this isn't a future piece. I don't think Dustin Harris will be a part of the 2027 White Sox. I mean, I think he's like a Greg Jones-ish of last year. Final 2 comments, and then if there's any more, feel free to like them. ALLCITY saying, is Justin Ishbia taking control over player salaries yet? The thought, or at least the release said that Justin Ishbia will help them pay down debts. I think that's likely referring to CHSN debts. I don't think the White Sox are a team that is debt heavy. Jerry Reinsdorf has enough money to not be in debt. I think that's why they are more of attractive buy for, and maybe they have some company debt. I think there is good debt. I'm not a multimillionaire or a billionaire, but I think there is a thing as good debt. But I think for the large part, the White Sox really don't have debt. So there is no, I think, contributions right now to player salaries for Justin Ishbia. Again, just to remind everybody, the ownership agreement will open in 2029. It will close in 2034 or 2033. In 2034, if the Reinsdorfs have not agreed to sell to Ishbia, Ishbia can buy the team in 2034. So could be 3 years, could be 8 years. Ishbia is at games and he's a minority owner, but I don't know how involved he is currently with the White Sox day-to-day operations, salary operations. I think his main focus, at least as a minority owner, is stadium-related. Matthew Cortese in the chat saying, why not bring up Schultz and win Rookie of the Year? To be frank, you guys know the answer. The Chicago White Sox are fairly cheap. And while winning the Rookie of the Year is cool, Noah Schultz is PPI pick eligible, which would allow the White Sox to get a nice pick. I don't think the White Sox would be against that. But if Noah Schultz places, I think, top 3 in the Rookie of the Year or top 3 in Cy Young, I could be wrong about that, or I think he has to win Rookie of the Year, they are eligible for a PPI pick, a prospect, I forget what the other P, incentive pick, it's a promotion pick. Like they would get a reward for that, but then also Schultz would get 1 less year of control. So if they are smart, quote unquote, about calling these guys up when they are both fully ready for Major League Baseball, but then also, maybe not going to be contending for an award like that and get to extend their service time for 6 years rather than 5 years. I do think that the White Sox would rather that. I mean, if Munetaka Murakami wins Rookie of the Year, they're not upset. They're not going to lose another year of him. He's already an unrestricted free agent when his contract's up. So, I think part of it is, there's a pretty good Rookie of the Year class, so I think it's mostly about making sure he's fully there. I do think Schultz is somewhat ready. If we're going to see Duncan Davitt pitch, I'm not against Noah Schultz being brought up, but he is only 22. So if they do want to give him more than, I think this is his second start, or second full start, he piggybacked Hagen in the first quote-unquote game. So I don't know if this was, this is third game, but it's only 14 innings. I think he's got 16 innings in Charlotte before, so it's a total of 30 innings total. I think they might want to get him at least to 50 or 70. Like, I think they want to at least have him build up just a little bit more. Jim in the chat saying, why rush Schultz for this team? I'd slow play him and let him really hone his craft at AA. Or AAA. I agree. John in the chat saying McDougal will be up first. He's on the 40. So that's possible as well. Antonacci's not on the 40. Hagen's not on the 40. Noah's not on the 40. McDougal is, though. So that is possible that, McDougal is first. John in the chat saying Harris will stay and Peters will go down. I'm fine with never seeing Tristan Peters again. Not in a bad way. Tristan, not like I don't want Tristan Peters gone for good, but like I don't need to see him in a White Sox uniform. Maybe a Savannah Banana jersey is more fitting, or maybe a Charlotte Knight uniform. Peters has been fine. Really haven't loved or hated him. Pereira's going to come back soon, so either Harris or Peters will go down once Everson is back. Do we have any more favorites? No. Okay. We're going to jump into some other stuff now. Duncan Davitt, the sports writer, Sam Antonacci and William Bergolla's collision in Charlotte, and then the Brooks Baldwin injury. Let's start with the collision between William Bergolla and Sam Antonacci. AAA Jeff, fantastic sports writer over for Future Sox covering the Charlotte Knights, saying in all caps, "This is bad." Nice, Jeff. Bergolla Jr. and Antonacci collide. Cart coming out for Bergolla Jr. And we are radio silence from 7:27 until, let me get this right because James Fegan had the tweet first, 7:57. Oh, wait. Was it the same time? Did I just not realize that? That's great. Okay. Cool. That's bad. Wait. So 7:27. So we had to wait 30 minutes. So kind of waiting your breath. It was the sevens that threw me off. Waiting with bated breath, like, oh my God, is William Bergolla dead? I mean, they brought out the cart for him, so it was really concerning. James Fegan answering, saying that he was carted off his field, was unable to put any weight on his leg, but it wasn't his knee. It's a bruised shin. So the White Sox were able to take a sigh of relief. William Bergolla, the very young, high contact hitting middle infielder, doing a great job so far, even at a high promotion at AAA, colliding with Antonacci. It's a pop-up to the left field dead zone in between third base, shortstop, and left field. Oliver Dunn's playing third base. He and Bergolla are kind of merging in at one another, riding with their heads up towards the baseball, and Antonacci is sprinting straight at them. Antonacci, I think, kind of realizes he's getting in the way, so he starts to slide down. Somehow Bergolla, while getting literally like hockey or soccer slid into, this is why you wear shin pads, folks, like pretty much taking a soccer tackle, catches the ball, and you do see Bergolla just lay down. Dunn has his hand or in glove over his head, and Antonacci's lying motionless. So you're like, what happened? Antonacci stays in the game and is fine. Bergolla carted off, bruised shin. So thankfully, you don't have a major concern there, especially with Brooks Baldwin already being out for the season, Vassell already being out for the season, and Teal, it was a grade 2 injury. Just heard this from James Fegan on Sox Machine podcast. That Teal, although he was optimistic, like a young kid usually is, about possibly 4 weeks, it does seem like it's going to be more on the 6-week timetable. So, we will be seeing Teal a little bit later on. I was worried that Antonacci wouldn't really be coming up soon. I thought, here we go again. Antonacci and Bergolla is done. But thankfully, just a bruised shin for William Bergolla. You do have Matt in the chat saying, is William Bergolla underrated? The 21-year-old Venezuelan, I think, is a little bit underrated. He did get mentioned as a top 200 prospect by Kylie McDaniel, 5'9" lefty playing shortstop and second base for the Knights. I think he's also sprinkled in around the diamond. They have a lot of middle infielders, so I think they're getting guys a lot of just playing time where they can. He's played second and short so far, at least for Charlotte. Only played third base in the Dominican Summer League for Phillies back in 2017. So mainly second baseman and shortstop. 9 games so far, though, for Bergolla. 485 batting average, 553 on base percentage, 606 slugging percentage. So pretty decent. Last year, AA, 286, 342, 333. So do I think William Bergolla is a 485 batting average? Probably not, but Bergolla really did really well in spring training. 314, 351, 371. I do think it'll come down to earth a little bit at some point, but so far so good. 16 hits in 9 games is decent for Bergolla, and thankfully it's only a bruised shin. So no, I don't think Bergolla is underrated, but I do think that it's a mess with all the middle infielders that they do have. Antonacci is a middle infielder that's being pushed out to left field. Baldwin's now out for the season. He's going to continue to kind of add to that mess. Will Coulson be a shortstop, or is he going to be moved over to third base? Cholowsky is seemingly major league ready and can take over the shortstop position. Caleb Bonham just hit a home run his first of the year down in the Winston-Salem Dash at some point. He's probably going to play third base at the major league level, maybe in a year, 2 years. It's a good problem to have, but the White Sox aren't lacking when it comes to middle infield options. So that's fine. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We got 69 people watching. Nice. 40 thumbs up. We do appreciate that. It's nice to see the support. Thank you, Lucas Reichel, saying 72 viewers proves no one cares about the Sox. Brother, I was doing this when 20 people were watching. Okay, 72 is a welcome sight to see. So, Sarah, feel free to ban that blowhard and get him out of here. We don't need people talking crap about the White Sox. Oh.
Already on it. I didn't like his attitude.
Sarah's a great producer. No, I didn't like his attitude either. Yeah. Lucas Reichel also, traded.
I was going to say, Lucas Reichel is not part of our lives anymore. So,
not good, Bob. All right. So a fun story coming out of the White Sox. Duncan Davitt was called up. Old friend Brandon Eisert also back for the Chicago White Sox. You do see Chris Murphy hitting the IL for the 15 days. With a shoulder impingement, and then you see the recalling of Tyler Schweitzer down to AAA. But Duncan Davitt, acquired last year in the trade for Adrian Hauser. I know people were bemoaning the loss of Curtis Mead, but thankfully Duncan Davitt and Ben Peoples were also a part of the trade. But for the Indianola IA independent advocate, Duncan Davitt wrote about his major league outing. I currently can't read it because they are blocking my ad blocker. So, woohoo. I was able to read it earlier. I was going to try to just say he did a great job of laying out like the process of being a major league call-up. Okay, I don't have this. Great. That's awesome. Well, wait. It's very cool, though, that he's able to kind of celebrate his own journey, that he is able to kind of depict this. You've never really seen this. There, I don't think, has been a sports writer who's been a Major League Baseball player before. But Duncan Davitt currently writing. What is going on? People, you don't want to read? Okay. This is from Duncan Davitt. In the history of Major League Baseball, a time span of over 100 years, there have been just about 24,000 players. That number would fill just half of a single modern-day MLB stadium. In that time, players have become legends with the likes of Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, Clayton Kershaw, and even our own Casey Blake, former Cleveland, along with thousands more. They have ventured through the cathedrals of the MLB, done battle, and come out the other side etched into the history of the game. Today, I joined that history. I got the notification that I was going to the big leagues less than an hour before our game in Charlotte on Wednesday. I wasn't throwing that day, but had finished up my prep for starting the following day. In fact, I was in the middle of contrast tubbing, spending 3 minutes in a hot tub and 2 minutes in a cold tub in an alternating fashion when I was told our pitching coordinator wanted to speak with me. At the time, I figured he might want to go over my game plan for my start or had some advice on my mechanics or a pitch shape. But instead, he sat silently for a moment, then ported towards the shared wall with the manager's office and simply said, "Go in there." At that point, I had an idea, but when I sat down, I didn't want to get ahead of myself. The Charlotte manager, Chad Pinder, asked how I was feeling after my side a few days ago. Side bullpen. Look at me. It's just an industry term. After saying I was good, he informed me I wouldn't be throwing at Charlotte the following evening, and I'd be doing it Kansas City for the big league team. Instead, it's a whirlwind of emotions being told you've achieved a lifelong dream. There's relief, but there's also an overwhelming feeling. Most importantly, there's a process. There's people to call, bags to pack, and a plane to catch. It started with a conversation with the manager and proceeds into handshakes with my teammates while also trying to pack up my equipment. When you're called up, you aren't exactly given lots of notice. I had just 4 hours from when I was told my plane was departing. Once I step into the stadium in Kansas City, I'll talk with the manager for the big league team and his staff, where I'll learn more about the role and things to expect. But the most important thing, and the first thing I did after finding out, was calling my friends and family. I called my mom, who I thought might have been messing with her, but then started crying. Then my dad got on the phone, and he was just excited, but with fewer tears. I called my wife, Emily, who was at work and didn't pick up until I told her she had to. Then I spoke with my agent, who gave me an idea of what to expect. Finally, I moved on to one of my best friends, who once again thought I was messing with him. I'm starting to see a trend. In the end, I spoke with more than a dozen people, all while packing for a flight. Now I prepare to take that final leap into the big leagues in Kansas City, the stadium I grew up the most and where I truly fell in love with the game, a sort of full circle moment. I didn't really mean to read the full article, but he's a very easy reader. So very exciting stuff for Duncan Davitt. At some point this weekend, you will see his major league debut. And it's very cool to see a sports writer / baseball player. It's very cool to see somebody depict their own journey and be able to do it so eloquently. So, and also, it's going to be a welcome sight. At some point, Duncan will end his baseball career and likely be a sports writer. And I'm excited to see how he treats athletes from the athlete perspective. Appreciate Joshua in the chat saying you're doing a great job, brother. Go Sox. Go Sox. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. ALLCITY in the chat saying, Edward in the chat saying there was once 12 people on this show. Yeah, right? I mean, come on. We've been here in the dark days, folks. I mean, 60 people? That's 60 people. That's a decent amount. Appreciate you people hanging out with us. ALLCITY in the chat saying, Sean, what's your new favorite City Connect announced today? I think in a way, I'm going to go Baltimore. I do like that they leaned in with the green on the hat and in the shoulders. I'm not a Baltimorean, so I'm not going to get into the argument about if it's called Be More or not. I do think Nike does a little bit too much with them. I think the White Sox maybe in a way just kind of toned down Nike's dumbness by just saying, give us the Bulls jersey. You really couldn't have Nike give you some crap. It's just designing or mocking an already really nice jersey. So I've warmed up at least on the Sox City 2.0s. I like the City 1.0s better still, and I want to see the City 1.0s back, the South Sides. But yeah, I'd say probably Baltimore. Didn't really love the Royal one. Joey, any thought? The Pirates one was a little iffy. Any thoughts on the City Connects? Who was the Reds one was weird. Oh, I hate the Tejas one, the Texas Rangers one.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one personally.
It just also like their politics are very muddled. They have like a very weird statue in left field. They're very anti-LGBT. They're the only team without a Pride Night, and then they're like land acknowledging.
It's like the City Connect jerseys are like they're like a wave. It crests. You know what I mean? Like you have a really good year with a great addition, and then it kind of sort of comes back to the pack, and you sort of like push the envelope, and then you hit it, and then you don't. And so I don't know if I'm a huge fan. Like I'll be honest. Like I like both of the Chicago ones last year.
Oh, so you like the Cubs one?
I liked the Cubs one last year.
What did you think about the first one?
Wait, what was the first one? With the Wrigleyville one?
The Wrigleyville one, yeah.
I did not like that.
Yeah, too blue.
And it says the town that I'm in on the jersey that I have. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know.
Well, you like the South Side one then?
South Side was amazing.
Okay. Should have done North Side, South Side.
South Side because of the calligraphy, though. It played off of the amazing calligraphy of the logo, so I like that one a whole lot.
Well, and then also, too, like, it was a weird, like, texture, but then you learn it's, like, gray stone, and you're like, oh, I could kind of see those are bricks. Like, I thought the Sox probably have the most tasteful collection, because most of them, really, I mean, the Reds one's just a sea of red.
Yeah, that's the thing is like some of them it plays like right into it, especially with the City Connect, and other teams and organizations have to try really hard to sort of like get it there or like create a vibe about it. And that's when I think you can kind of get sideways, but that's the beauty of Chicago. I don't think it takes much work. Yeah. And the Sox have the best gear, not just baseball, but probably like across other sports too. They'd rank probably pretty high across like all-time sports logos across genre of sport. They're in the top 10.
Oh, easily. Yeah. I mean, come on. I saw my mailman walking around our street. And I saw him in a Sox hat, and I'm like, oh yeah, go Sox. He's like, nah, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm like, what? You're wearing a Sox hat? And he's like, well, it's it's black,
but it's cool. You see,
yeah, right? So that one was really jarring for me not to be able to be like, did you see Edgar Carroll? 2 hits. Anyways, hit that thumbs up button. Southside Jeff T in the chat saying, be well. That reminds me of Boers and Bernstein. Be well. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We're going to be wrapping up as we close into an hour here. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Matthew, Southside Jeff, Edward, Joshua, Elsa, dude, anyone else who asked to comment as well. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us. 70 people watching, 40 thumbs up. If you haven't liked it already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you to Joey for contributing. Thank you to Sarah for producing. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Final one push for merch. Go to store.allcity. What is it? Store.allcitynetwork.com. Store.allcitynetwork.com. Yeah, that's what I said. All right. Well, let's end the show. That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. We'll see you on Tuesday. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.